Today we're talking about how energy is transferred from outside a living system to inside a living system. And we do this through photosynthesis. Remember that all life processes require energy, some sort of energy. Some organisms will get it from the sun, some will get it from the things that they eat, and other organisms will even get it from inorganic compounds such as sulfur compounds. But most of the energy that we use in living systems, either directly or indirectly, comes from the sun. And so we've seen a picture similar to this previously in our biology classes probably, where we get that light energy that comes from the sun. Let me go back here. That comes from the sun, and our plants are going to absorb that light energy and make it into a chemical energy, which then plants use, as well as these rabbits who are eating the plants. Since some of the energy is transferred to the rabbits when the fox eats the rabbit, some of that energy that was once a part of the sun energy is now being transferred over into the fox. But why are plants green then? And that's our overarching question today. Why are plants green? Well, we have to understand that the sunlight is a white light that contains mixtures of all the colors of the visible light spectrum. When sunlight passes through a prism, we can see all the colors of the rainbow. And so you might have done this in middle school, where you've taken a white light, shown it through a prism, and see all the colors of visible light: red, orange, yellow, green, blue, indigo, and violet. And we've given this an acronym called Roy G. Biv. Roy G. Biv gives us all the colors of the rainbow: red, orange, yellow, green, blue, indigo, and violet. The plant is trying to harness this energy, to absorb this energy of these different colors of light in order to put carbon dioxide molecules together with hydrogen to make sugar. Well, why are plants green? Well, plants contain pigments. They contain several pigments. And remember that pigments are going to be molecules that absorb different wavelengths of light. The light that they don't absorb, they're going to reflect. Well, the main pigment in plants is called chlorophyll. This is our primary pigment in plants. And chlorophyll is going to be involved in photosynthesis and is going to absorb all of the colors except greens and yellows. Those greens and yellows are going to get reflected back to our eyes, and that's why plants appear green. There are two types of chlorophyll. We have chlorophyll A, which is going to absorb a lot of red light, and we have chlorophyll B, which is going to absorb a lot of blue light. So if we look on this graph here, we have chlorophyll A represented by this red line, and it is absorbing a little bit of blue light here, but it's also absorbing more red light than chlorophyll B. Chlorophyll B is absorbing a lot of blue light and is absorbing some red light. But if you look, both of these are reflecting green and yellow light. And so since they're reflecting it, that light is being reflected back to our eyes, and that's what we see. These colors are being absorbed. These colors are being absorbed. And so the plant can use that light energy in order to put molecules of carbon dioxide and hydrogen together to make our sugar. But plants have other pigments. Another type of pigment that they have are called the keratins or carotenoids. This is a secondary pigment that produces orange colors in leaves and fruit and vegetables such as these carrots. The keratins are going to absorb different colors of light, but they're going to reflect orange. So this orange is reflected. A third type of pigment that plants are going to contain is called xanthophylls. Xanthophylls is another secondary pigment that produces yellow colors in plants, such as these marigolds or these leaves during the fall. During the fall, chlorophyll A and B are going to be produced in smaller amounts, and so they don't reflect as much green and yellow. But xanthophylls will continue to be produced, and so we get this yellow color from leaves during the fall. So the key point here with carotenes and xanthophylls is that they both absorb wavelengths of light different than chlorophyll. So what's the advantage of having all of these different types of pigments, chlorophyll A and B, carotenes, and xanthophylls in plants? Well, it allows plants to maximize the amount of sunlight that they absorb for photosynthesis. This is kind of a combination here of the chlorophylls, and you can see that we're absorbing a lot of the blues and a lot of the reds, and these carotenoids are getting more of the blue and even some of the green. Since they're absorbing those colors, they can use those wavelengths of light to help put together the carbon dioxide and hydrogen to make our sugar. And if we were to add in xanthophylls, xanthophylls are going to get even some of this color in here as well as other colors out here. Now we're using almost all of the colors of the rainbow in order for our energy in photosynthesis. This is the pigment extraction from spinach, and you may remember doing this in class. We can remove the pigments in spinach by separating them out through our chromatography. And so you can see here how we've got the different pigments being separated out right here. And each of these shows that we have different pigments contained in that one spinach leaf. So that spinach leaf can use various amounts of sunlight, various amounts of wavelengths to gather energy. That's the end of our lesson today. We'll see everybody in class.